Aether World was supposed to be a gooner sim, then it grew a final boss, and the man who killed it did it with the worst character in the game, Beck Useol, the only gooner in Aether World who cannot use magic. One spell, it moves him, that's the entire build. He spliffed a god with a movement key. Then the screen told him he had reached the wrong ending. Please reach the true ending, you little bastard, it said. Nobody has ever reached one, not in 10 years. Then he woke up inside the damn game as that nerd Beck Useol with 6 armed men outside the door. 10 years of practice, time to find out if it counts for shit. Aether World, 10 years old, still running, and about to have the worst update in its history. It launched as a dating sim aimed at women. It ended up with a player base that was overwhelmingly men, big roster too. Everything from characters who basically play themselves to characters who actively fight you. And then at the very bottom of that list, one of them, officially difficult, unofficially trash, and there was exactly one man alive who mained him for 10 years. The word the game uses is pervert. So, shall we get started? He says, like this is going to go well for anybody involved. Player Beck Useol, not his name, his character's name. 10 years in, that stopped mattering. Cut to the real world. Apartment blocks at sunset, nothing on fire yet. He's at his desk with a coffee in the face of a man who has not slept on purpose. Oh, new posts on the forum. Maybe there's an update. There is no update. There is a dragon that turned up out of nowhere and started deleting people's save files. A final boss in a dating sim. He was fairly sure these things ended when you picked a girl and rolled credits. Further down the thread, somebody clocks a name. Hang on, that's the famous ranker. He says. A final boss, and sets the mug down like a man about to make a mistake. So here's the lore he skipped. There's a cult in this game called the Dark Demonic Humans. Their whole purpose is helping an otherworld called Personagate take this one. And the reason everyone's characters are getting wiped is that they finally managed it. The Dark Demon Dragon showed up. 90% of the continent already belongs to Personagate. He's played PvP for a decade and never once touched the story, and the story broke without him. Well, it's not like he can avoid it. Might as well have a go. He yawns. World-ending threat, and the man yawns. Will you fight the Dark Demon Dragon? Yes or no? The cursor doesn't even hesitate. 10 years of practice. He says, let's put it on the table. And there he is. White cloak, sword out, standing in front of something the size of a building. Quick word on the character then, because the next 4 seconds don't make sense without it. Beck Useol is the only person in this entire game who cannot use magic, in a game where everyone uses magic, which puts him below an extra. Extras at least get to stand in the background of a good scene. He does get magic. Technically, one spell. The dragon's mouth comes open and something very bright starts gathering at the back of it. Useol looks up at it the way you look at a bus you've already decided to step around, and for exactly 1 frame, he does not look certain this works. Hi, he says from about 2 feet away. Blink. That's the spell. That's the whole kit. It moves him. That is the entire function, which sounds useless right up until you meet someone who spent a decade being useless with it on purpose. Because here's the part the wiki leads with. Blink throws you somewhere between 3 and 10 meters very fast. The direction is random. Misjudge the distance, hit something solid at that speed, and you die on the spot. Add a cooldown, a mana cost, and 2 full seconds afterwards where you cannot move. Anyone can learn it. Almost nobody uses it. However, Beck Useol has mastered Blink. He picks his direction, he picks his distance, and that 2-second penalty doesn't apply to him anymore. It costs him nothing either because he has no mana stat to spend. Blink was never a spell. It was a movement key, and that's exactly why he got obsessed. Nothing about this character was ever carried by the numbers. 10 years on the only build in the game that fights without a single point of magic. The beam goes through empty air, then he's inside its guard, and it turns out you can kill a god with a movement key if you press it enough times. It goes down, and Useol just stands there in the dust, waiting for somebody to confirm it. You have defeated the final boss, 13th moon of the Black Knight. Huh, what? Did I actually kill it? He points out, fairly, that he's head to toe in ancient relic grade gear and the character is still garbage. Well, he says, that's nice. Then his hands go straight back to the keyboard, because obviously step 1 is flexing on the forum, and the screen tells him he reached the wrong ending and 90% of Aether World has been destroyed. What? Please reach the true ending. What? 2 monitors glowing at nobody. The chair is empty, and somewhere else entirely, somebody wakes up gasping. He's flat on a wooden floor in a room he has never been in. What's going on? And where is here exactly? He hasn't got a word for it yet. Then he spots a mirror. He gets a knee under himself and goes to it. Huh? That's Beck Useol. That's the face. That's his character, wearing him. And something at the back of his skull goes ding, because he knows this room. He knows this floor. He knows this exact shot. This is Beck Useol's prologue quest. He stands there in a stranger's coat and lets that finish landing. No way. Then his hand goes into the pocket because he knows what should be in the pocket. And it is the entrance certificate to Stella Academy. Hard to believe, he says, holding the proof in his own hand. This is Aether World, no question about it. And of course he had to be Beck Useol. Right, be logical. The voice said reach the true ending. Except this game doesn't have a true ending. It has endings, plural, and not one of them wears that label. Unless nobody has reached it in 10 years, which would explain the wording and a few other things besides. Then he shuts that down because this is very much not the time. If he's remembering the prologue correctly, he's already moving to the window while he thinks it, because right after Baek Yuseol wakes up, the men hunting him come through that door. 6 cloaks in the snow, asking each other where the little bastard ran off to. His breath catches. Damn it, they're already here. Out front, one of them stops. There's a hut over there. Search it, he says. Yes, sir, comes the answer. That's the whole plan, and the whole plan is going to work. There's a limit to how long anyone can hide in a one-room shack, and he can't fight 6 armed men. He's a guy whose combat experience is a chair, so what's he supposed to do here? And something chimes. You can use the skill Blink. What? He can use Blink? Blink, flash forward. Baek Yuseol's body cannot hold mana. It leaks straight back out. They call it mana leakage syndrome, which leaves him exactly one thing going for him. The one spell our guy spent his entire life practicing, and back to the present. You can use the skill Blink. The window just hangs there in the air beside him, patient as anything. Use Blink right now. In a game he has only ever played with a mouse and a keyboard, his legs are already moving. The complaint can be filed later. Behind him, boots in the snow. A lot of boots. Something clips him and he nearly goes down with it. Damn it, they're already here. There's no time left. So the only thing he can do is try. Out in the trees, one of them catches sight of a coat. Found him. Chase him. Don't let him escape. Stop right there. Which works on most people because most people are slower. Tutorial Part 1. Avoid the pursuers using Blink. Trees, snow, and the sound of a man running out of air. They're wearing magic boots. He is wearing whatever Baek Yuseol had on. The spell is the only way out of this. Calm down, he tells himself. You have done this thousands of times. The timing is burned into your muscle memory. It's the hands that are new. Behind him, somebody sounds genuinely offended that he hasn't stopped running, and then they're on him. Here's Blink's one real problem. Get the distance wrong, hit something solid, and you're dead before you register that you moved. However, the first one gets a sword up over his head and tells him he's going to hell. If he's the one using it, it's different. So he uses it, and the blade comes down through the space where a person used to be. He did it. He actually did it with a body instead of a keyboard. Behind him, the whole group stalls out. Was that Blink? Is he a mage? The one in front tells them not to falter, which is what you say when everybody is faltering. Their blonde gets a full second of not understanding what he just watched. How, he would like to know, is that bastard moving like that? Blink. Then again. Then again. Carefully, he's telling himself. More carefully. The ground here is broken and uneven, and that is the only advantage on offer, because players who can't learn to control this spell right here do not make it to episode 2. 99% of everyone who ever picked Baek Yuseol died on this tutorial, and the 1% who cleared it hit the next wall immediately. Distance control and blinking twice in a row. 3, 2, 1, blink. Behind him, somebody asks the group whether that lunatic is really doing this in terrain like this. Then the order goes out. Anyone who can use magic to the front, hit him from range, and the cloaks start lining up. Are they seriously about to start casting? Tutorial Part 2. Use blink to dodge the magic arrows coming at you. In the game, he could see behind himself because the game was on a monitor. That was the entire trick. The first volley comes in. Skill mana leakage syndrome is being used, along with both of its derivative skills. Sixth sense, cognitive acceleration, and his eyes go wide and very bright because the body that can't hold mana feels every drop of it instead. Arrows come down in bright arcs and he is already not where they land. Twice more, left then right, straight through the light, and he's grinning now, which is arguably not the correct response to being shot at. Now, he plants a foot, blink. He comes down low in a crouch, one arm out for balance. Snow everywhere, fist in the ground, still breathing. Whew, that was close. Then he's up and running again, teeth bared, having an unreasonably good time. Then the last part. Haha, he says. Not convincingly. Tutorial Part 3. Cross a canyon using blink. And there it is. A hole in the world with wind coming out of it. The only way across is controlling the distance of his blink perfectly. Then he links up with the mages who pass through here, gets out with them, and the tutorial is over. To clear this part, he has to cancel the spell, which fires in a 1/10 of a second at exactly the right moment. Fail once and he dies right here. There are about 20 floating boulders out over the drop. A 1/10 of a second, he says. That is a lot easier said than done. And more to the point, what absolute lunatic designed this tutorial? However, honestly, it's doable. He has done worse in ranked. The problem is, he starts to say. There he is, says somebody behind him. There are 4 of them. His pursuers are closer than he expected. About 100 meters. Canyon in front, cloaks behind, and one spell in between. Snow and a field of rocks hanging in the air like the physics quit halfway through, and our guy sitting in the middle of it, not moving. Even he thinks this is crazy. He has never been in a proper fight in his life. If this were a game, the system simply wouldn't let him attack the men chasing him. But this is not a game, and there is no rule anywhere that says he has to keep playing by the system's rules. The thought of killing someone doesn't bother him, not even slightly, and it isn't the revenge plot either. They're here. It's simply that he thinks he can win. 3 cloaks come up over the rise and find a boy standing there with a sword. That's him. Catch him. Yes, sir. The first spear comes in low and fast. You'd fight all of us on your own? Idiot. You're done for, they tell him, and his face does absolutely nothing. Target distance, 8.7 meters. No. Huh? 2 men very close together, and one of them isn't moving right anymore. A cough that comes up wrong. Something warm hits his cheek. He doesn't doesn't wipe it off. The clear feeling of blood running down his fingertips, and no guilt at all. None, because he only killed them to stay alive. Then he's gone again before anyone works out where to look. Who? One of them manages. Another goes down mid-shout. The two at the back finally turn around. He's getting away. Don't let him escape, whatever it takes. One down, he thinks. The next one won't be that easy. And then it goes quiet. Have they given up? No, obviously not. They're casting again. If he can just dodge it. A boot comes down and he says a word he wouldn't say in front of his mother. Now the gray one shouts, "Ignition!" The hillside goes up, and that hurts. He comes through the fire sideways, already looking for the next foothold. Damn it, why is this spell so? There, he picks his spot. Blink. The blast goes off behind him with nobody in it. Smoke, rubble, one boot stepping into frame. Serves him right, one of them says. Cocky little thing. Neither of them has noticed the sky. He's not here. And he comes down out of the snow with both arms out. The blonde looks up about a second too late. Here's the thing about Blink most players never think about. Gah, it keeps whatever momentum you had, before and after. Blink. So a fall becomes a weapon, and he lands on the man like one. The two of them go down in a heap. What just happened? Behind them, the last one sees it and freezes. A knife comes up. A boot finds the snow, and Yusiol straightens, breathing hard, wearing most of the fight. Two of them left. He has to finish this before the pair who fell behind catch up. Weird guy, one of them mutters. Uncanny reaction speed for a mage. Who the hell are you? He asks. His reaction speed is faster than most professional gamers. He knows that. He just also knows that only counts in games, and he can't keep dodging forever. Not at this range, so he ends it as fast as he can. The big one grins. He's already worked out the fighting style. All this kid has is blink and a dagger. Cover the face, cover the neck, and that dagger can't do a thing. And the sword comes up glowing. Come on then, he says. Ice wave. Blink. The blade goes through the space he was standing in. Got you, the man says. Let's watch that face of yours crumple. Then a growl, low in the throat. Then a huh. Then a very small sound that a big man makes when he's wrong. Damn it. Earlier you were running like a rat who'd never been in a fight, and now... Earlier, yeah, Yusiol agrees. Thanks for helping me get better at it, you little brat. We were going easy on you. I'll kill you this time. The blade comes round with blood still on it, and he's already moving. The thrust goes out. It goes wide, on purpose. The man reads it as a feint. Throw the spear. Make him guard the front. Come in from the side. I won't let you have your way. So he braces for the flank, thinking he's a step ahead. The sword swings out to the side, into nothing. Huh? No way. Because the front is exactly where the boy came from, and there's a hand on his collar now. He was going straight up the middle the whole time. Episode 1. Escape your pursuers. Complete. You have obtained EXP, and the Constellatio project owes him a bonus for developing the story in a way nobody else has. He's sitting in red snow with his hands shaking, just breathing. In, out, in, out. His hand goes for the sword on the ground and won't stop trembling. He gets one long breath out. There's blood on the coat, on his face, and all around him in the snow. Right. This isn't a dream. His first blink, his first battle, and his first murder. He killed a person to stay alive. He takes hold of his own arm to make it stop. Wait. It leaves a bad taste, but he's broke, and being broke is a practical problem. Found it. About 2 million credit. Roughly 2,000,001, which beats nothing. Right. Now the actual problem. Wind coming up through the floating rocks. Blood in the snow beside his boot. He has to get across this cliff. Is anyone out there? He shouts. Over here. And then, oh, that's the group of mages from the tutorial. Right on schedule. He waves. They shout back that there's no bridge for miles, and can he actually cross? He says he can. So they settle in to watch. Between themselves, they agree you'd need to be a third-class knight to make that jump. Could that kid manage it? Huh? Because the kid has just left the ground and come down somewhere he very much was not a second ago. What was that? Some kind of jumping magic? A blink, one of them says. The one with the long blue hair says nothing at all. That's a blink? How is that even possible? Two more figures out on the ridge. Are they with the boy? And a hand comes up full of fire. Hey, one of the mages shouts. Look out. Oh, shh, blink. And the hillside goes exactly where he was. He comes down on a ledge with two cloaks on the horizon. Are these ones with that mercenary from earlier? This is bad. Blink has a 3-second cooldown. He cannot dodge every spell with it. Not close. He needs to find the next floating stone to land on. There isn't one. Above him, an arm goes up and a purple orb starts turning. He throws himself sideways. Ugh, he's going to fall. He is absolutely going to fall. Damn it, every stone out here is too far away. He'll settle for landing on one. Anyone. Blink. And he comes out of it reaching for a slab of blue ice. Fingers on the edge, both hands. He survived. Or possibly not. Because the rock he is holding onto goes up in flame, he is going to die. He has time to think the entire sentence. Then something blue opens over the canyon. It lands with a sound the mountains hand back. Ice and lightning come apart in the air together. And he's still there, still hanging on, blinking snow out of his eyes. What was that? An ice spear wrapped in lightning. 2 attributes in one spell, in the tutorial. And the trajectory was exact. Not a drop of mana wasted on it. Who is capable of that? Oh, says a woman with blue hair, lowering a staff that hasn't stopped crackling. Impossible, somebody else says, which is about the size of it. Down below, the men who were shooting at him are doing the screaming now, and the snow closes quietly over all of it. Phew. too, he says. Seems he lives anyway. Then he turns around, and a lot of hoods are facing him. Thanks for the help just now. She tells him she didn't do it for the gratitude, so don't worry about it. Ah, okay. Prettiest voice he has ever heard. Also, possibly the hardest person alive to talk to. Anyway, that lot. Officially, they're bandits, the kind who turn up and burn a village down. In practice, most of that work is the Dark Demon cult, and it ends here. Off this cliff, he's in mage territory, and the dark demonic humans can't follow him in. Not to mention, not one of them has the faintest idea who he actually is. Then something dark comes up out of the snow behind him, and it lands hard enough to feel through the ground. Night, a mountain road, and one wagon with a lamp burning inside it. 3 hoods in the back, not talking. The wheels do all the conversation, and our guy folded against the wall with his eyes shut. Mom, I'm going to be a mage when I grow up. Yes, I believe in you, Usiol. The secondhand spellbook his mom and dad worked and saved to buy him. He's going to study so hard, he's going to make them happy, and he falls asleep on it, and a blanket goes over his shoulders. Doctor, did you just say my son has monoleakage syndrome? No, there's no way. Are these Beck Usiol's memories? Small hands holding onto a shirt, and a child crying the way children cry with absolutely everything he has. Or are they his? He comes out of it hard. It's morning. Oh, you're up. I was just about to wake you. They'll reach Lazoisha soon, the satellite city of Arcanium, wheels through slush. Let's stop here a while. He climbs out and stretches like a man who slept sitting up, then stops. She tells him she can't let him go anywhere looking like that. He has no idea what she means. He finds out. That's cold, he says. That is extremely cold. Still, things are going better than he had any right to expect. Magic exists in Aether World, but the safe cities have trains, flying ships, and warp holes, so distance stopped being a problem. Which is what Lazoisha is for. They're going there to get on a ship. Lazoisha is on the road to Arcanium, and the real story starts in Arcanium, the city of magic. Magic towers, mage knight orders, 5 famous academies, and the one with the strongest mages and the best students is Stella Academy, which is exactly why he still cannot work out how Beck Usail ever got admitted. He hasn't actually looked at his own skills yet. Monoleakage syndrome level 1, strength up 3%, agility 5, sensitivity 10, sixth sense and detection acceleration. Without those 2, he'd already be dead. A cursed body that cannot hold mana. That's the syndrome. It's something Beck Usiol was simply born with, but it means he feels the mana around him instead. It means he knows an attack is coming even when he isn't looking at it. And detection acceleration slows the world down when something is coming faster than a person can see. It's essential because he has no mana, but he can't hold sixth sense long. It burns mind power, and there's a bill after. Right, stats. Not bad, actually, for a starting spread. The original Beck Usiol had terrible sensitivity. Some of what he built over 10 years seems to have come across with him. In Aether World, there isn't one level. There's one for every stat. Strength, agility, endurance, sensitivity, stamina, mind power. Skills come in levels. Stats come in stars. 9 stars is the ceiling, and nobody reaches it. 10 years in, his best was 8 in stamina and sensitivity. So everything goes into sensitivity for the sixth sense and the reaction speed. Stamina he can build the ordinary way. Done. Which leaves the syndrome, train it or don't last. He needs it upgraded to Secrets of Nature Physique quickly, and the only place to reinforce it is inside Stella Academy, so there's no choice. He goes to Stella, or the world ends and he stays broken. Phew. He doesn't want to go already. He could really use a hand here. You have missed some notifications. He hasn't seen any of these. Hey, let's get moving. Coming. He'll read them later. And behind him, she watches him go and says nothing at all. The ship comes up out of the clouds like it owns them, now departing for Arcanium. Please take your seats for your own safety. A boy in a red coat looks him over. Look at this one, wandering about like a lost child. Has he never been on a flying ship? Some country bumpkin, surely. Shh. He doesn't see why Stella has to let peasants in, most renowned academy in the world, and they're letting this sort muddy the water. Usiol says nothing. He just sighs. Kids are the same everywhere, honestly. Did you just sigh at us? Why, you little. Hey, you, stop right there. And somebody further down asks what all the shouting is for, then stops asking. White hair, red ribbon, one red flower behind her ear. Huh? Did he say Bion? Hong Bion Adelabit, princess of the Adelabit kingdom. The whole floor starts murmuring at once. Why, your highness? And the boy who was shouting a second ago has gone very quiet. She walks straight past every one of them. Your highness, he says, to nobody, and whatever route you take. In some endings, she is murdered, and not gently. In others, the entire academy bullies her until she's expelled. In one, something so humiliating happens that she never appears in public again. It's as if the developers held a grudge and wanted her to suffer regardless. She is very popular with the male players. She is also, he notes, extremely pretty. He also feels she would kill him for saying hello. Then his stomach makes a noise. Maybe he should eat something, and there's a whole shelf of it. Bread, pastries, a cake with cherries on top. Phew, why is everything so expensive? Fine, he'll eat when they get to Arcanium. Somewhere above him, a speaker crackles on, an announcement for everyone. They'll be arriving in Arcanium in 10 minutes. Please make your way to the first floor. Repeating that. Arcanium in 10 minutes. Please make your way. He stands there with his arms folded and his eyes shut, going quietly out of his mind. Good that he sorted that out, he supposes. But can he actually survive Stella Academy? No, forget the Academy. Can he survive this world at all? He really could use something to help him here, and then it lands. Hang on, there was a notification he never opened. The Constellatio project is offering him a special reward. 1, a downgraded version of the items he used in the game. 2, downgraded skills. 3, EXP. So the system law do have some commercial ethics after all, right? What to pick? Could he take Returning Light or Praise of the Flash? The grade is too high, comes the answer. Both would be severely downgraded. What about Hyperspace Blink? That one's an advanced version of Blink and cannot be acquired at all. Does it really have to downgrade everything? It does, and the thing driving all this is called narrative power, which builds up when he pushes the story down branches nobody has walked. So in short, no late-game gear because he is too much of a newbie. Right. What about Bulbul glasses? System examination concluded. That one it can provide. He'll take it. He never thought a day would come when he'd actually wear these. Bulbul glasses. Every piece of information he collected in 10 years of playing, stored in one place. Aether World never let you look anything up. Not monsters, not knowledge, nothing. So players built their own ways to remember, and he built his. And behind the lenses, something in his eyes changes. Bulbul glasses. Grade. Blank. Can't remember what you had for dinner? Worry no more. Bulbul folder, seal, and it runs on mind power. Open folder, alchemy materials, hunting grounds, dungeons, monsters, characters. That'll do nicely. This is real life now, so he has no idea how much of the game system he can actually grind. But with these on, he gets maybe half of what he used to be back. Hey, isn't that Isel? The traitor Dutch Mulf's eldest, you mean? The nerve of her showing her face here. Keep your voice down, she'll hear you. Isel? Because one of these lenses can pull up character information on anyone in the story, and now that he thinks about it, that is extremely useful. So that's the fake heroine. And to explain Isel, there's something he has to cover first. This place is a game called Aether World, but Aether World is built on a romance fantasy novel called Don't Love the Princess, and that novel is about Isel, a heroine who lost her entire family. She grows by facing down the schemes of the villainous Hong Bion, and she ends up with the male lead. Her revenge plot evaporates, the men protect her, and it ends sadly after readers tore into it. Here's the problem. The game is built on that world, but the story is nothing like it. The game added an original character called Flame and handed her the heroine role, and Flame came with a backstory, an ordinary woman in the modern world who read Don't Love the Princess and got pulled into it. So in the novel, Isel is the heroine. In the game, she's the fake, and Flame is the real one. Because for all the routes players ran and all the effort they poured in, Isel could not be kept alive in any of them, which is how she lost the job. Anyway, nothing to do with him, but is it just his imagination? He feels like he's seen her somewhere before. Must be imagining it. Right, time to get off. And there it is, rows of new uniforms with the gold trim standing very straight. As you are all already aware, says the man at the front, the dark demonic humans are mages who took otherworldly power and turned into monsters. Right now, they're opening persona gates and breaking ancient dungeons open to get in. What a boring speech to open a semester with. So tedious. And next, the oath ceremony for the 4 students admitted on top scores and the freshman representative. Students, to the podium, please. 4 of them go up. Every face up there is shining, exactly the way main characters' faces do. But the brightest of them is, obviously, freshman representative, Ma Yu-song. Highest entrance score in the year. How is one person that handsome and that clever at once? So that's him, the famous Ma Yu-song. If anyone ever fit the phrase, throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one, it's this boy. 9 stars in mana. Potential edging on the divine. A genius among geniuses who can command every element there is. Even if he can't reach the true ending, he can at least aim to dodge the bad ones by getting Ma Yu-song onto the right side. However, that part is entirely up to Flame. It depends how she plays it from here. She's from the same reality he is, so getting along with her might be worth doing. But if she decides he's an enemy and turns him down, this gets complicated. He holds all the information. He shouldn't have to gamble anything. Flame possessed a romance fantasy novel. He possessed a romance fantasy game. Do solemnly swear to do so. Meanwhile, his own importance to this story ranks somewhere below a village shopkeeper. He lets that sit. On top of everything else, the heroine can cleanse the dark demonic humans outright. She also has a talent for financially ruining absolutely everyone standing near her, which is going to include him. So his job is to support the main characters from a distance and to get involved with them as little as humanly possible. With that, the entrance ceremony is concluded. Episode 2, enroll into the Stella Academy, complete. Stella Academy in daylight. Towers, bridges, a great deal of stone. Inside, rows of new students, and one of them looking around like he's checking the exits. It's been a while since he graduated university, so being a high schooler again feels deeply strange. But still, he turns the gold watch over in his fingers. Having this feels good. Proof that you attend the most prestigious magic academy in the world. Carry it, and you get treated better than people holding a magic warrior license. He wants to go and use it immediately, preferably somewhere out of this building. The door goes. Everyone, in your seats. Papers away, everything except writing tools. So the entrance ceremony is followed by an exam. Stella Stella's curriculum is harder than most Korean universities. You sit an exam on day 1. It's called the class organization exam, meaning a placement exam. Then begin. The papers land. He has no idea what any of this says. This is quite tricky. The placement exam has nothing to do with the entrance exam and its legendary difficulty. This is the one that sorts everyone into classes F through A and S, and obviously most of the playable characters end up in S. Meanwhile, Baekhyun Seol entered this academy dead last out of 1,141 students. He's already in. Can he just hand in a blank page? Sigh. 2 rows over, somebody has his chin on his hand and his mind entirely elsewhere. Ma Yu-seong. He's already like that. The exam paper. He's already finished it. No wonder being alive bores him. Because boredom is the whole nature of the character. Born into the strongest family in the world, with the best brain and the best talent in it, so nothing was ever difficult. Which is why the female lead's behavior is what decides whether Ma Yu-seong turns out good or evil, and certain people would be extremely interested in a boy like that. His real problem was always his family anyway. Right. Looking at geniuses just makes the comparison worse. Hang on. Can he use the bulbul glasses on this? He used them constantly in the game, stacking extra skills in the library. Nothing to lose. Let's find out. Wait, what are those glasses? He said quite clearly that glasses had to be checked in advance. Oh yeah, he did. I'll examine them. And if anyone finds out there's magic on these, he's looking at expulsion. No, please, system. Stay still. The lenses sit there in a gloved hand, glowing very faintly at nobody. I can't feel mana from it. Ask beforehand next time. Ah, yes. And if the original functions had been running, that would have been a real problem. Right. Then let's... Wow. He really can see the answers. This is a jackpot. What if he takes first place at this rate? At this rate, he escapes F-class outright, maybe even gets a CL. The exam is over. Hand over your papers. He only finished 3 questions? He only finished 3 questions, and something behind the invigilator's eyes changes. He thought he'd finally get out of F-class. That must have been too much for Baekhyun Seol's body. And then a shadow falls across the desk. You, give me those glasses. Right now. Pardon? There's no way. You there. Go and fetch Dr. Grayan. Yes, sir. What is up with him all of a sudden? Was he caught? So, doctor, what do you think? Grayan turns the lenses over and hums. Solving that question is definitely suspicious. So did he cheat? No, he didn't cheat. There's no magic tool energy on the glasses or anything else he's carrying. He solved it with his own ability. Ho, how interesting. Never thought he'd see it in his lifetime. Now, Professor Lee Han-wol, apologize to the student and guide him properly. Understood. I made a misunderstanding. I apologize. A door, professor's office, papers everywhere, a candle, an abacus. So, what do you think? It's more complicated than we thought. A gloved hand holds up a sheet with a single number circled in red. Oh, Professor Lee Han-wol. Are those this year's freshman exam papers? Yeah. She's heard there are a lot of interesting freshmen this year. Apparently, yeah. Hong Bi-yeon, Princess of Adalabit, the Kingdom of Flames. Jeremy Scalvin, named successor to the crown of the Scalvin Empire at 12, purely on magical talent, over the heads of every older brother he has. Hai Wanriang, successor to the Magic Tower Master. He'd heard setting the questions was a nightmare with that many elite families enrolling. Must have been some interesting problems this year. Glad they were to your liking, Lee Han-wol says, and doesn't say the rest of it. Out of every new student, only 3 got all 3 questions right. Ma Yu-seong, the prodigy of the century, arrived like a comet, origins unknown, and Flame, a commoner admitted on the principal's own recommendation, whose talent puts her close behind him. And then there's Baekhyun Seol. Ma Yu-seong and Flame are called geniuses. Baekhyun Seol had the lowest admission score in the year. He did not expect that boy to solve all 3. She wondered why he was so interested in the new intake scores, because one of those scores doesn't make sense. Which tracks? The blonde one says. Every formula and equation they threw at those questions failed, and you could solve them knowing nothing at all. So do you think this child might be a genius, or it could be a coincidence? Lee Han-wol doesn't answer that one either. Then his hand finds a note stuck to a file. Granted special admission because his control of Blink was held in high regard, so the boy the principal personally let in is different after all. Is that it? A mage combat student who specializes in Blink. We'll find out soon enough. Coincidence or genuinely special? Elsewhere, a corridor full of noise. Class assignments went up on the board, and somebody is already stressed about what he's getting. His mother told him not to come home if he doesn't make Class A. He cannot believe he has to walk over and read this off a wall. In the game, it was 1 click. Wow. Is that Baekhyun Seol? Apparently, he scored a 0 in magic application on the entrance test. How does someone like that get into Stella? Frankly, it raises questions about Stella's standards. Ramble away. He'll read his class and leave. Not that it matters. Not that it matters at all. Huh? His name isn't here. They didn't fail him for only doing 3 questions, did they? Baekhyun Seol? Why on earth is he? This has to be a mistake. Something is off here. Uslek of Marquis Chekbylan came 29th and got Class A. Kyle scored perfectly on theory, came 17th Class A. So why him? What is going on? Something's odd. Maybe he should look. He moves. Oh, why is his name written over there? This can't be right. What is happening? Class S. The single grade every student in the building dreams about, where the most exceptional students at the best magic school in the world are put together. Every other year runs several classes. Class S has 41 students, and exactly one class. He's been assigned to S grade. This has to be a mistake, and it is driving him insane because in Class S he is going to run into the main characters constantly. Getting anywhere near the protagonists only shortens a life that is already short, and he can't transfer out, so he'll simply have to keep his head down. Stella Academy. Courtyard, fountain, clear sky, nothing wrong anywhere, and a room with nobody in it, and a sound coming from the corner. A hand comes up and the girl on the floor flinches. 3 questions wrong. Even Princess Azel of the fallen Mulf Duchy managed 2. She couldn't answer what insects answered, which puts her below an insect. Do you understand, Bion? Yes, mother. Her mother sighs. Listen to me, Bion. You cannot afford to end up like me. Chased out of the kingdom, clinging to some pathetic professor's post. A hand takes her chin. You have to become something better than your sister. And her mother laughs softly, close to her face. You understand what I mean, don't you? Of course, mother, I don't understand. She lives the way she was taught and solves the way she was taught. Magic she was never taught. Spells she was never taught. Formulas she was never taught. Why? Why are you tormenting me? A door with an S on it. Inside, 1 classroom's worth of quiet talking. He's finished. Of course he got assigned somewhere full of antisocial weirdos. Not that he was planning to make friends with high schoolers. How is he even in here? That's what I'm saying. I can't work it out. Our parents complained and asked why he's in the S class, and all he said was that Bayek Yuseol has the qualifications for it. Really? That makes no sense. Well, looks like he's the outcast. Then again, they've all worked for this since they were small, so he'd be annoyed too if a known dunce turned up in his class. And classes shift after every test anyway, S class included, although being demoted out of it almost never happens. Come to think of it, a boy climbs from A class into S later on. He'll worry about that when it happens. Still, it is genuinely something. All these game characters right here in front of him. In a few years, most of this room will be famous worldwide, and about 5 of them may betray the magic world. Ma Yuxiong is one of the 5. He sits with that for a second. It would be nice if Flame could stop that from happening. Everyone, settle down. Footsteps. Nice to meet you all. Some of you have seen him before, but he'll introduce himself properly. Professor of the S class, Li Hanwol. So that's the famous Li Hanwol. His confirmed kills on dark demonic humans are nearly into 4 digits. Settle down. A lot of talented students in here, he says, and one very unique one. As they all know, this academy exists to produce combat mages. As magic warriors, they get 3 years of extremely hard schooling. He doesn't expect all of them to keep up. He would like all of them to show him their best inside that window. Any questions? Nobody has any. Good. Then let's begin. And somebody walks in late. Hong Biyun, who follows the rules harder than anyone alive. Late. Did something happen? Right. Let's put the bulbul glasses on and check. And immediately he wishes he hadn't. Guaranteed to die. If Isel dies because of Flame, then Hong Biyun dies because of Flame and Isel together. The inevitable fate of a villainess, you could call it. He'd save her if he could. He is not in any position to be saving anyone. He feels bad about it. He's still keeping his distance. Yo. She looks at him. Huh? And pulls out the chair, then sits down next to him, going slightly pink about it. What? What is this? This feeling that things are getting twisted right from the start. Before class starts, they'll be doing the staff succession for the staves they'll carry through school. S class and A class do theirs together. As for the details, it's a bit annoying. But he's looking forward to it. There are 2 big events at Stella Academy. One is the familiar contract ceremony. The other is the staff succession ceremony. And being the premier academy it is, Stella's version of it is something else. Is everyone here? There are staves laid out here running from lowest class up to middle-high class. All they have to do is walk up to one they like and take hold of it. Swapping a staff once it's picked is a nightmare, so choose carefully. Although nobody here is really doing the choosing, it works the other way around. In Aether World, a staff only answers to someone it decides is worthy of it. That's the resonance, which means you don't get to use a high-level staff just because you fancy one. He looks along the row. Anyway, which one? Before, he'd have grabbed something meant for F class, but he's in S class now, so he has to think about it. The one that suits his position best is a wand. Staves split into 2 kinds, the short wand and the long staff. Wands go to the knight class, who fire spells off fast. Staves go to the bishop class, who take longer and hit once, hard. Hey, which one do you reckon he'll go for? He's in S class, so surely he won't have any trouble getting a resonance. Whatever, they can think what they like. Hey, huh? Who are you? Me? I'm Uslik. Who is that? He has never heard the name in his life. I see. And which staff are you planning to take? Anything, really. You should pick one that suits your station as a commoner, and don't make a scene and cause trouble for the professors. Yeah, you shouldn't cause any trouble either. Uslik goes red from the collar up. You little. Are you picking a fight? Ha! So annoying. That's all the information there is on him. How much of an extra is this boy? Tisk. Anyway, he's taking that one, so watch closely. That staff is. The Edmari Edamiri, that should be the highest one here. A middle-high class. Middle-high class staves are what professional magic warriors carry. However gifted you are, middle-low is supposed to be the ceiling for a student, especially given professionals themselves barely manage to hold a middle-low class one. And there is one other middle-high class staff here besides the Edmari Edamiri. That one isn't out to be taken. It's out to be looked at. Everyone go and stand in front of the staff you want. A hand closes on one and it lights up. Blue light light comes off the shaft in ribbons. Hong Bi-yeon takes hers, red stone at the tip, and doesn't blink, and the light goes up. Whoa, isn't the one Haewon took the Hayden Amakoten? That's a middle-class staff. Princess Hong Bi-yeon took the Suaviter Lahavan, also middle-class. How many people can pick up middle-class staves that only certified magicians are supposed to handle? This year is insane. Damn it. Just you wait. I can do it too. Oh, isn't that Uzlek? Is he seriously going for a middle-high class? He walks up to it anyway. Heh, watch closely. He'll show them what real S-class talent looks like. His hand closes around it, and the whole thing goes off. As expected, he failed to resonate. Uzlek lands face down and doesn't get up. Ugh, oh no, he's hurt himself pretty badly. Somebody go and get a professor, quickly. Ha, so middle-high class is impossible. Yeah, better to give up on that one. Then a shoe steps forward. Hey, get a hold of yourself. And our guy walks past all of it, humming. The owner of that staff has already been decided.